Welcome to Apparitions Paranormal. Unless your spirits, Cal, or Joe's, or Jose, or whatever your name is. Do you understand me?
Part of legend. They see children playing and giggling. They hear giggling. And they said they've seen soldiers.
Right next to the porta potty there.
Right here?
Apparitions Paranormal should come out here and do an investigation at the haunted graveyard that they have, you know.
We should.
And this is Placerville, and it's turned into a museum now. And we got Donna's place right across the street there. And then here we got the Henrietta Penrod, 1896 to 1971. This is now a museum, but it's the old, it's been turned into a museum, but this is the old Magnolia Saloon. What do you think, Ray? Kind of a cute little place, huh? Kind of take a peek in. Oh, that's cool. Oh yeah. We'll come to see Placerville, even though there's really not a whole lot here. And even the Boise Basin Mercantile Company, the general merchandise, gas, oil, and auto accessories, is even been turned into a museum, as one can see. We got, oh, look at here. Check this out. Look at this. This looks to me like an old printing press. An old style typeset printing press. That's exactly what that is. That's an old printing press. Very interesting. I love things like this. I like visiting old places. What do we got here, down in here? Yep, it's an old printing press. An old offset type printing press. An old belt to run it. Generator. Very interesting. And what do we got here? Very, very interesting, I'd say. I don't know what this is for sure. Have no idea. Maybe like, looks like some kind of a wagon of some kind, maybe to carry hoses. Maybe it's an old fire. Maybe it's an old fire wagon from the Old West. Don't know. Very interesting. And I guess our next stop will be the cemetery, which is supposedly haunted. And Apparitions Paranormal may one day actually come and do an investigation here. And in actuality, this town is considered to be a haunted place. So the whole town might be an interesting place to visit and actually do a full-blown investigative episode. Anyway, Placerville, folks. This is the city center. Not a lot to it, as you can see. All dirt roads, except for right here. And then that's like a little restaurant, City Hall of Placerville, and probably a general store, maybe a bar, I don't know. And then a Placerville Fire Department. And that one little sign on that barn over there that says Boise this way. So if you want to get to Boise, follow the arrow. Anyway, I absolutely love places like this. I'd love to get out and to explore, and we will definitely come out here in the near future and do an episode of Apparitions Paranormal, especially in their cemetery, which is supposedly exceedingly haunted. But I just wanted to take you out for a little walk with me on this wonderful Saturday afternoon while I'm out actually gathering herbs to treat a sick dog. And I brought my son and his stepbrother with me, Ray and Mark. You guys all know Mark. Anyway, I think that's them sneaking up behind me now. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you little ninjas. Yeah, this is the way to the cemetery that is supposedly exceedingly haunted. And there's a whole lot of new houses and stuff, you know, mostly trailers that double wides and stuff they put in here. And that's the way to the cemetery. And I guess we go right up there, right to the end of the road.
Hi, my name is Mark Mason with Apparitions Paranormal, and as you may know, we're a paranormal father-son investigation group, but we are going to expand into all things paranormal, which is really exciting, folks. We're talking UFOs, Bigfoot, everything paranormal. We're going to expand our services out to everything. As far as the cemetery goes that you see me standing behind, we're going to be coming back here too to do another investigation at this cemetery. Well, I believe our first investigation actually at this cemetery.
Which is actually, we're actually at Placerville.
Yeah, and we're in Placerville, Idaho. This is considered one of the most haunted cemeteries, according to legend, of anywhere in this area. People reportedly see spirits, full-body apparitions walking through the graveyard on the daily here, according to local myth and legend.
Even for this mini clip that we're making for our new channel, we might actually get lucky and actually catch something paranormal today while we're just messing around. Not even actually doing an investigation per se, but just messing around, you know.
So let's go check it out.
So yeah, so let's definitely check it out.
So as I was standing reading names and gravestones, I found a plot of a murder scene. Well, not the actual scene itself, but talking about the gentleman who was murdered around the area and robbed of his gold dust, a prospector.
We should go check that out.
Yeah, we should. I'll show you where it's at. There's water here. Water.
So I was doing the EVP and I didn't see much of the bars moving at all when I was talking over here to this John Rogan. But something very strange happened when I was standing right about here talking to them. I got a very strange, like, guttural feeling of like some type of like dread or something. It was very weird and kind of surreal, and it made me very uncomfortable.
So do you think apparitions should come out here and do an investigation?
I think so. And also, I was over here talking to Ellis, who appears to have been a Freemason when they were alive, and I asked them about wanting to talk to the Freemason we have with us behind you, Mark, and I got activity from the voice recording.
Really?
So I'm guessing they have answered somehow saying yes or no, that they wanted to talk to him.
And this is Ellis Robinson. Robinson. Or is it? Yeah, Robinson. And Elizabeth must be his wife, maybe?
Possibly.
You would assume?
And looks like we also have other multiple past Freemasons in this grave, because there's a lot of them with the Freemason crest.
You notice how big these plots are for an old cemetery, and how big some of these stones are?
I would like to make note. Very good.
You would like to...
I'd like to make note
What's that?
that according to paranormal investigators, one of the theories are that bodies of water hold energy or produce energy, and that helps spirits conjure and be able to manifest. And since this is a very haunted cemetery according to legend,
And then we also
we
have...
also have a
Very,
body of water located right on the graveyard property.
just on the other side of that fence. I think it's off the graveyard property, but it's close enough. And it's interesting too. Not only
got a grave right there, Darwin Taylor.
not only did they say that, but they also say that water can hold memory. You know,
Yeah.
this is really quite an amazing cemetery. All things considered, folks.
I might have been buried here.
I think
Looks like they had a very cheap grave.
it's like a totally amazing cemetery, and this would make just an absolutely perfect place to do a paranormal investigation, especially given the history, given the legends behind this cemetery, and how many people have claimed they have experienced paranormal activity here. I think it would just be absolutely an amazing, but at the same time rather creepy at night investigation. But we are going to do that. It's docketed to be investigated on a future Apparitions Paranormal investigation. So just wanted to kind of take you guys with us today briefly while we had our excursion, mainly to get herbs up in the wild, up in the forests. But also, since we were so close, we thought we'd just stop in at Placerville and show you what it looks like during the day. And hopefully in the nearest future, we'll also actually have an investigation to perform here, and that we'll yield some evidence for our patrons to see. And we do appreciate you supporting our new channel. It's very new. It doesn't have very many followers yet or subscribers, but we invite you in. Hit the like button and the subscribe button, and be sure to share this video, because that helps get us around and get the word out. Now this right here to me is amazing. It's in really good shape here in Placerville. This is the Episcopal Church. I think it's probably the only church they actually have in the area. Praise the Lord, they have one though. And it's in really good shape, probably because of the tin roofs. I've noticed that buildings with tin roofs, they last forever on the inside, even when they've been dilapidated and abandoned. Look at these stained glass windows too. Just amazing. Just amazing artwork in the windows. And notice how small the church is. It's a small church, but at least they have one. Even way out here. I don't know, there's an old shed or something back there. Little barn, little house. This is back behind the church, but I really love this little tiny church. I'm sure from the look of it, they still use it for actual gatherings and for actual services. Annual Episcopal Church welcomes you. Sunday services are around 11 a.m. Isn't that interesting about the country? They don't just say that it's at 10 a.m. or at 11 a.m. They say it's around 11 a.m. In other words, when we get to it. You notice that? So, beautiful country. It's just amazing. Now, there are definitely new houses here too. So it's not entirely a ghost town, but the residents, I don't know, there's probably maybe 50 or 100 people that live out here, maybe, if that. But it's really a unique and fun place to visit. Especially, like I said, if you're like into old things, if you like ghost towns or near ghost towns, Placerville should be on your list to investigate, to come and explore, and be sure you patron Donna's place and bring some money into the community. So. Obviously, this used to be somebody's residence at one time. It's just all broken down, and you know, this is one of the original buildings, I'm sure. Hey, when you guys heard that woman say hello, was there any recording devices running at the time? No. Oh, that's too bad. I didn't hear it this time, but it would have been cool if we could have caught it. Well, as you can see, probably that's an original building behind me, right there. It's all dilapidated now, but Placerville has several of these buildings that are still standing, that are kind of interesting to look at and take time to explore. And then right down the road from me, the only paved part is right down by the store. Right down by the store is Donna's place. And if you ever get to Placerville, be sure that you patron her help the little town of Placerville to generate finances. But definitely this should be on your to-do list if you're ever in Idaho to stop and visit. On our way out of town, out of Placerville, we came across the Star Ranch. This is one of the things that's left of it. It's an old, basically a log cabin that's basically falling in on itself, really. According to this little write-up here, Katharina was born in Munster, Hessen, Darmstadt in Germany, and her mother died when she was 7 years old. But anyway, Katharina came to be known as Katharina Cole, and this was she was born February 28, 1837, and she died January 28, 1907. But apparently this is part of one of her ranches that she settled here, the Star Ranch, and it's kind of blocked off by these poplar trees. Actually, yeah, these trembling aspens. But come on in close, Mark, and you can see that this whole thing is like dilapidated and falling in on itself. All the floorboards have been torn up. There's really not a whole lot left here, but you can get a pretty good idea how the roof is caving in and some of the siding and whatnot. But this is part of the old original Star Ranch. So I find this very interesting, but also looks very unstable. Not too safe to go into. You wouldn't want to have one of these logs coming down on you. You should come on in and take a peek-see inside. Look at how dilapidated that puppy is.
Right. Well, and I mean, obviously, you're going for a quarter-pound to half a pound, so that is an expensive pound. That is an expensive hamburger.
That is. It is. But it is what it is. Pictures from the old days.
So I have a question for you. What's that? When we were coming in, I think it was one of the guys mentioned that you guys had prime rib.
Oh yeah, absolute best prime rib we ever had.
How much? How much is the prime rib?
It should be on. $36.95.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
I didn't see that.
But I mean, it comes with everything. You get mashed potatoes or baked potatoes, salad, steamed vegetables or corn.
So before we end our little excursion from Placerville, we're now in Idaho City, which still has a lot of its original buildings, in spite of all the fires they had, which is amazing. This right here that I'm standing next to, it was established in 1864, and it is the first Idaho territorial prison in the whole state. You want to see how ridiculous prisons used to be? To me, this reminds me of nothing but a giant chicken coop. But this is it. This was the original Idaho territorial prison. Mark, go ahead and take them around it. It's just amazing. Human beings in this. Although you have to admit, Mark, this is like a Hilton compared to the prison we found in the territories of Montana when we went to Bannock. That place was like a hellhole, you know?
Yeah, it was.
At least it had wood floors. This, on the other hand, does it have wood floors?
No, dirt floors.
Oh my God. That would be one cold mamacita. You wouldn't be able to fit a lot of prisoners in there. You know, you wouldn't think you'd be able to fit a lot of prisoners in something like this. But it's still a far cry better than the territorial prison, the first territorial prison of Banning, Montana, which was the territorial prison, the first one in Montana, I think. You know? And then the old firehouse, which is just a little dinky shack. I've had sheds bigger than that. Let's go and film the judge's house and a few of the relics from the past. So now this, guys,
Vehicles are permitted, thank you.
now this guy's right here is the firehouse. This is the firehouse of 1865. Look at how dinky that is. I've had garages bigger than that. I've had sheds, for that matter, bigger than this. But still, it's kind of impressive, really. I'm just shocked at how dinky all the houses and everything were originally in this town. Shall we walk around this way? Oh, I guess that's roped off, huh? Original houses right here from the 1860s, 1880s, whatever, that are still standing in this town as part of its historical preservation. And of course some of the shops too. Oh, check it out. They still have the bed and everything in there. That's a little tiny bedroom. That's a really small bedroom. Check it out. And it's still preserved. Got the old wash station on the dresser and everything. You know, they still got the old wood sidewalks. So this was the Judge Haley's house, 1860s. And this is basically as big as the house. You saw on the side the bedroom. So this actually leads into the bedroom. But go ahead and peek in the window and show them the inside of the living room slash. I mean, they've got studio apartments bigger than this place.
And they still got the tie down for your horses.
Yeah. And so this house here, this is the Gulf. What is that? The Galbraith's house of 1867. Got a picture of her too. Boy, she was a good-looking lady. Right there. When she was young, she was a hottie. But this is their house. It's a little bit bigger than the judge's house, even. I guess that's. You're gonna have to kind of zero in this way too, Mark, to get a good look at their old wood stove and just how dinky everything is in there. It's just amazing. This is the blacksmith shop. And you come in here and you see all the blacksmith stools and all the stuff that he had set up before.
Those horseshoes they made.
Pretty dark in there. You're getting a pretty good view of everything.
Yeah.
This that you're looking into now is the pest house and county jail. And it served as Boise's county jail during the 20s and 30s. The 1920s and the 1930s. This is where they locked up the bootleggers, I'm sure. As well as brought the sick people. During the early development of the Intermountain West, the county commissioners established such places as the only available method of dealing with service outbreaks of illness or severe outbreaks of illness. The trappers and traders scattered throughout territorial Idaho used whiskey and quinine as cure-alls. With the sudden influx of the miners, large camps sprang up and epidemics were a serious threat. Crowded housing and inadequate sanitation increased the problem, and communities were plagued with outbreaks of smallpox, diphtheria, and many other communicable diseases. So apparently this is where they would bring, they call it the pest house, this is where they would bring people who were infected with things like smallpox and diphtheria and rocky fever and things like that. And so there you go. You see they got the old wash tub, the old bathtub, and an old style washing like machine or device that you cranked by hand. Quite a setup. Not only that, it served as secondarily as the county jail before you went to the prison that we just looked at. Okay, well, you get to spend like 2 months here, but then you get to spend like 8 years there, you know?
I would like to make note. Very good.
You would like.
I would like to make note. Very good.
You would like.
I would like to make note. Very good.
You would like. The bedroom. So this actually leads. The bedroom. So this actually leads. The bedroom. So this actually leads. But this is their house. It's a little bit bigger. But this is their house. It's a little bit bigger.